we always want to talk about successes and accomplishments, but there is also a high percentage of failure among the real estate industry and agents. And the reason being is because we don't really start early in the game with a good plan of action.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the 64th episode of Leverage, which is a Virtudesk brand. And if you're not familiar with Virtudesk, go visit them, myvirtudesk.com. That's where we get most of our virtual assistants. We've got my co-host, Mark Rader from LA, Ventura County. What's up, buddy?
What's up? How we doing?
Good, man. I heard you just gave an acceptance speech. You won like an Oscar or something. I don't know what the hell you won. What did you win? What did you win?
No, I just capped at the office. So
okay, God, you capped. Good job. Good job on capping. Good job on capping. Robert Garcia out of the DMV area. If you don't know what that is, that's DC, Maryland, Virginia. They have the awesomest acronym out of any place in the United States. Good job, Robert. So Long and Foster's. He's a top producer there, and he uses virtual assistants. And Robert, the very first time we talked, I don't know, a year and a half ago, about maybe, right?
Probably, yeah, about it. Yeah.
You had, dude, I don't know, 3 or 2 virtual assistants.
We have 2.5 at that point. That we were kind of like, trying to figure out this whole world of working with virtual assistants, because it's not easy, right? Let's be honest, this is not easy.
Nope.
And a lot of people say, well, how you do it? I mean after a couple trials, back and forth, finding different systems, communications, best way to make phone calls and tools and so on, technology, a lot of people now coming to say, hey, how do you do it? Because you seem to got into a rhythm that it's working for you,
dude.
And I say it's trial and error. That's it.
I mean, that's practically everything. But I'm impressed, for those people tuning in, I'm impressed with what I'm watching on YouTube. Look at you, dude. 731 subscribers now.
Yeah, and it keeps growing.
That's no joke.
Nice.
Because look, 500 views, 1,000 views, 1,200, 600 views. Very consistent. And then I look at you on TikTok now, and you've got 12,000 followers, and your videos are pretty decent, man. Good information. Let's start with that, because I want to know what you're doing on the social media side first with your virtual assistants.
So when I was invited to come back, and thank you again for inviting me. When I was invited to come back, I said, I got to bring some good content, as we always, expect. And I said something I think I know the reason why most real estate agents fail. And we always want to talk about successes and accomplishments and things of that nature, but there is also a high percentage of failure among the real estate industry and agents. And the reason being is because we don't really start early in the game with a good plan of action. You should have your business plan, which should have 2 parts. One, it's marketing plan, and the other one should have your operational side. And if you have those 2 components together, then you have to now find people to help you, right? And who is going to be to help you? You can choose to have an in-house assistant, or you can choose to have the virtual assistant. And I have tried both, and there are pluses and minuses. There are pros and cons of trying both. But I decided to stick with the virtual assistant world for one reason. And the main reason is these people are very good. They are very hardworking. And if something they don't know, they research it. If something, it's a skill, they're not too good at it, they will polish that skill because they want to be relevant. And that alone, it's huge for my business. So once you define the key people that you need in your business, then you start creating the job descriptions. Not the opposite. People say, well, I need an assistant. And first question I ask, so what is your assistant going to be doing for you? And this was, I don't know, I just need help. And I said, okay, well, let's define the help, because these people can only be successful as you define their role. And it's not, cannot be too wide. It has to be a very defined role so that these people can actually help you accomplish what you need to do. So lack of business plan is the number one thing that a lot of people have, that if you don't have it, you can have 20 virtual assistants. And I'll be very honest with you, they're all going to fail, and you're going to fail because you don't have a plan. And that's one of the things that I kudos to you, Tristan, because your job to empower other realtors and to create all these tools that you provide to all of us. I mean, I get your notification of the monthly content calendar that you share with everybody. I mean, that alone right there took preparation, took some time with someone going through all the content, all the ideas. Does this fit on this day? Are you going to talk on Sundays? It's a, should talk about houses. Today will be some educational content. Today should be some stats. I mean, just that alone gives you the structure. And if you start following that, you will find your own rhythm, your own structure, and then the content will come very naturally. And should be, I mean, this is not rocket science content. This is things that we live every day. Oh, a house didn't appraise. Okay, there you go. That's your content right there. That's probably like, 3, 4, 60-second videos for social media, and maybe a 10-minute video for your YouTube channel, and anything that you want to, imagine.
That's true. That's true. All right, I have a question for you then, shifting slightly, only because we just hired an ISA for Mark. So we're going to test them out with Mark.
Okay.
And then if they do well, we're going to extend that same ISA to work for another top agent on the team.
Okay.
What would your recommendation be? Literally, like, this is day 3. Today is day 3 of Mark's ISA. And by the way, if you need one, go to Virtudesk. But ISA, where would we start, Robert? Because I know you have callers.
So are we talking from what perspective? From Mark's perspective?
Mark's perspective. What should Mark be doing here?
Okay. So first, Mark, the first thing is, what you have is you have a lot of leads probably in your database. You have potential clients, and then you have past clients, and you have to define who this ISA is going to be calling and what's the call to action, right? That's the very first thing you have to define. So create the structure around the personas that you're going to be calling. So if you don't want your ISA to be calling your past clients because this is people you already have a relationship and it's better for you to call them, then she or he should free up your time so that you take care of your past clients, but he or she should take care of the inbound leads that you're getting through the different platforms. Now, is this person's going to be calling buyers, or this person is going to be calling sellers? So I made the mistake originally to have one ISA and the same ISA do everything. Huge mistake. And then I went ahead and said, hey, okay, so what if I have one ISA to only concentrate with seller leads, and then another one to concentrate with buyer leads? Productivity increased dramatically. Okay, now that means you have 2 expenses of hiring 2 people. That's something that you may or may not be able to do right now. So, but try to really concentrate the job of this person to just dedicate his or her efforts to call a segment of the database that you want them to go for it. Then you can track the success of that person. Maybe that person you start with buyer leads, right? Maybe these ISA, it's not as good a conversion with buyers, but it's better with sellers, because sellers, they're thinking a year away. So there is a little bit of hand holding and nurturing. Some buyers are like right now, especially with this kind of market, like a house comes on the market, they want it right away. So maybe he or she are not the right person for you. So try to think that you have buyers and you have sellers, and where you're going to focus is going to be important to grow your business. So that will be the first thing I will tell you as a point of advice.
Yes, no, absolutely. And like one thing, I have a question for you, Robert. For us, we're really heavy on the buyer leads, but we do also acquire seller leads as well. But a majority of our leads are buyer leads. When you mention seller leads, are you mentioning online seller leads, or are we talking circle prospecting? What exactly does that
all
Go
of the
around it.
above, all of the above. It can be circle prospecting. It can be, remember, some buyers that come to open houses, if you do open houses, are also going to be sellers.
Right. Of course.
So they identify to you as a buyer, but their first intention is a seller, right? They have to sell before they buy. So you
Right.
have to like break down your database in a way that it makes sense. But circle prospecting, calling people that are identified as sellers for whatever means you have to collect information. And also some of the people that already bought homes with you maybe 7-10 years ago, they're probably thinking about making the move, especially after COVID is not what it used to be. And I think everybody's got very used to now what COVID is. But I think at the beginning when COVID hit, a lot of people found themselves hating their homes, like completely. They will hate their homes because now they have to work from home, they have to do homeschooling, and it's the house. So they have to make the house fun. And if it was just the same place that they hate, a lot of those people decide to make a move. So I actually, when COVID hit, I actually sold quite a lot of homes of people that were like, we hate the house. I know COVID is out there. We got to get going. So once I saw the trend, I started calling more and more and more of my past clients just to ask them, hey, I'm just curious. How do you like the house that you're in right now? Do you like it? You love it? And the people were like, actually, as a matter of fact, my wife and I were thinking last night that the house that we have, we don't like it as much. And they will just got deeper, and that will lead into an appointment for me or one of the agents.
Dude, yes. I love that. I love that. All right. So, Mark, that's actually really good, man. Which, I mean, we're already doing
Right.
what he's indicating, but I think it also lays a foundation for the people listening in. So,
Absolutely.
so Robert, now you've got your social media person. Is this social media person, what's their official title in your team? Are they marketing director, social media manager? What's that look like?
They're just basically, it's just a social media manager. They work under our marketing director. They handle so many other things, but this is just their job is just to basically help with the creation of content for, in this case, is for myself to start putting all the content that we can out there. And the content just comes from basically one day set up a Zoom call with a person, and we come up with all the topics that we should be talking about. And then we define, okay, these topics are going to have 60-second videos, and these topics are going to have a 5 to 10 minute video that is going to go to YouTube, and they can all be repurposed everywhere. But it kind of builds the momentum for the long version of the videos, doing the short versions. And honestly, it's a lot of fun to do the short version videos because you don't really have to be so scripted. I mean, it's just something that is happening naturally. And this is all subject to change, right? Because I could have been doing a video today, but I had an issue with one of my transactions. I can just completely just push that content that I have planned for today, for tomorrow or next week, and I can come up with an issue that I'm dealing with. And honestly, those things that are real issues and real time tend to get more views than those that are just more planned or scripted, just per se something.
What a great point, man. What a very, very good point. I like that. All right. So what does your VA team look like right now?
So there is the social media person. There is a marketing assistant. So this person is, the main job is ordering photography, producing the brochures online, doing all these other things that need to be done for the agents. And then we have a team of ISAs that are just making phone calls, a listing ISA and a buyer ISA.
Oh, okay. Explain to me their role and what they do. What does that look like?
So the listing ISA, it's basically concentrate, as the word says, just on sellers. So this is just people that we have in their database. They have indicated the initial intention is to be a seller, or they came through a website because a lead magnet that indicated they were looking to, questions to ask a real estate agent when you're going to, a listing agent when you're going to interview one, and so on. So then their job is to follow up with these people immediately, find out their timing, and then from the timing, you have to create a strategy for these type of leads, meaning that not everything fits for everybody. So if somebody says we are 2 years out, then I have to use a whole different follow-up campaign for the people that are 6 months out, and so on. And then from the buy side, it's the immediacy that people need, that immediacy to get the answer. So they, most of the time, what they need is they just need to get an agent to tell them if that house is available or not, and when they can go and see it. So for those, it's a speed to lead. They have to be able to get to these people in 5 minutes. It's either a phone call or it's a text message. And if the ISA wouldn't be on a phone call at that time, so then we just have and go to one of the agents immediately. I honestly don't like that system sometimes because let's be honest, we are realtors and we get distracted with so many things. We could be showing a house, we're not available. So they have to kind of sit in a hub at the beginning. We work them in that hub and then we kind of dispatch it and give it to the agent that is best, fit for that particular client. So that's how we divided it. As I said before, we had the same person calling both type of leads. It was not working well. It's just very confusing, very, very in the database. It was just a mess. So decided to divide it. Now it works perfect.
I like that. Mark.
And Robert, can you run us by like kind of like what how you taught your ISAs scripting? Is there some sort of a training program? Are you doing that training?
So yeah. So when I go to Virtudesk and I said, hey, I need an ISA, they'll do the interview. They'll send you the people that, and you can ask for certain things that, hey, I want people to have experience with this particular software or CRM, and they'll find you that people and they'll come over, they'll give it to you. And then once I've identified who I want, they go through a onboarding process, which is about 4 weeks that I have created myself, that it's where they go through the whole process every day. They come in, they check in, and then there is a list of things they have to accomplish. And then it's either watch a video of how to, of a presentation, watch a video about local things here in either the 3 areas that we service. Like, for example, somebody will be relocating from California because they're going to be working in Washington, D.C., but they don't want to live in Washington, D.C. They want to live outside of Washington. What areas they should become familiar so they can bring those as a reference point to these people, right? So there's 4 weeks are very heavy on these people getting to know the audience so that they can provide the information. And one thing I always tell them is you have to be very resourceful. So once the 4 weeks have gone by, then they get tested by all of the agents in the team. They will call them and they test them on different things. Oh, I want to buy a house. I want to sell a house. I was just, all kind of objections you can imagine. And then at that point, they will come back to me and say, okay, I was able to handle this well. I didn't handle this one well. And then either it's my decision if they have to go back into training, not necessarily for 4 weeks, maybe just 1 more week, or if they're just ready to go. And then every at the end of the month, we look at their numbers and we'll see what's happening with what they've done. So every day they send you their daily operations things, and we look at all the numbers to say how many phone calls, how many people they connected with, how many people connections it was, how many people they gave to an agent, how many people, everything. We look at everything just to make sure that we are able to, provide the value. And tools, you got to give them good tools. You got to give them really good systems and good tools so they can do their job. I know a lot of people say like they prefer to, go with the most affordable telephone system so they can start making phone calls. Well, that's just going to be a representation of who you are. So invest in a really good voice over the IP telephone system so the quality is good. Some people can detect that they are overseas. So that's something that if you have a good telephone system in place, it should not be a problem. And just make them, just let them see how it works. Now, you'll know right away if this person is going to work or not. And to us, they have to be coachable. The ISAs have to be willing to be coachable. They have to follow instructions, and they have to report problems immediately. If they are failing at any of these 3 things, they're not the right person for us. we have to say goodbye. And that's quick to fire, slow to hire. That's basically it. Because if you have someone that is not the right person, it can cost you thousands of dollars. So you rather just get rid of that person immediately and start and even deal with the ISA process yourself, rather than just keeping someone that is not the right fit for the position.
Robert, two questions for you. One being, do you have a certain goal in mind for attempted contacts and appointments set a month for your two ISAs? We
do have goals. So we look at the historic data that we have in terms of how many contacts we have been able to make with previous ISAs or agents. And based on that, we will give them a goal of how many phone calls they have to make a day, how many contacts they have to have conversations, they have to have how many emails, how many text messages. I don't try to limit it to on a daily basis. It's just more of a whole month of what it is, because I mean, our ratio around here, it's about, or KPI for those that are more technical, it's that it takes about 65 phone calls to make a contact around here.
Okay.
So we know that every 65 phone calls, someone will have an interest on either continue conversations with us down the road, or with having to say, hey, we're ready to meet with one of the agents or do a CMA with us and those things. Now, the ISAs don't do anything that it has to do with presentation of how we sell homes or how we help people buy homes. They don't do those things. It's just, they just get them on the phone for you, and then the agent has to do the rest. Something that we also have found that is very good right now, because everybody's super busy and everybody doesn't have a time sometimes to meet with you, is that we're doing video CMAs, and those are actually working very well for people that want to know what's going on. So basically, you have a tool like a bomb, you connect it, you plug it into your email, you find 123 Main Street, right? And then you just do a CMA for that, and you record yourself going through the CMA, you save it. I'll send it to Tristan, my potential seller lead, right? Hey, Tristan, I just want to let you know, I was just doing a CMA in your neighborhood. Here's the link. If you would like to have a copy of the actual report, just reply to the email, or I can text it to you and let me know. And then they're just starting to engage back with us. So we're giving them a little bit upfront. They like what they see, and then they get engaged back with us. And then we know if those are going to be. Same with buyers. Hey, we just got a new list of homes that are not hit the market yet. We are curious if you have any interest in any of them, and we just scroll down the screen. They are able to see just a spreadsheet of the homes, and if any of them that gets their attention based on the location, then they'll get back to us with like, hey, I'm very curious about that house, can you give me more information? And we'll get them on the phone right away.
And then there's a question here in the chat. Hi, Robert, do you micromanage your virtual assistants, especially when it comes to your social media campaigns?
I don't know if micromanage is the right word. I think there are expectations that are set up front. There is a style of communication that is also set up front. So I think as long as they work within the expectations that we set up, I think that's very important.
I like that. All right. So tell me the composition of your VA team right now, man. What does that look like?
So the VA in terms, so I have the 2 ISAs, and then I have the person that does all my marketing. And then I have the video person. So that's 4.
4. Awesome. A question from someone. Great question. Hi, Robert. Do you micromanage your virtual assistants, especially when it comes to your social media campaigns?
No, I don't. Again, it's just more about the style that is set up front in terms of communication. So what I will do is I will probably at the beginning say, here are like 10 videos of different professionals that I like their style, how they deliver the information, their graphics, their transitions, and all those things. As I want to create a hybrid of these different real estate agents that we can start using. And then I assign them to do like 10, 15 videos at the first time. And then they came back to me, and then I gave them feedback, and they make the improvements. And I said, okay, go back and improve it, send it back to me. And then at that point, we're able to come up with a a final, product.
Thanks for expanding on that, even though Mark asked the question already. Now,
It's
okay.
It just sounds like a clear train of
I
communication.
wanted more clarity, Robert. Does your ISA do cold calling by any chance?
We do cold calling too. Yes.
Well, I know you mentioned that at the beginning. Now, what type of cold calling are they? Just grabbing phone numbers from RedX?
Just
Vulcan?
RedX, Vulcan 7. Yeah, just grab phone numbers. What we are being very successful is with the circle prospecting, which is basically the same thing. It's just this concentrated around listings that we're selling.
Mark,
but it's
that's
just
like
Boom.
yeah, it's just like that. It's exactly what you have to do. Just call 500 homes around the listings you're selling or the coming soons, and
There
that's
it
it.
is. And then also I had a question. Do your ISAs cold call? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
that was good.
That's a good one, man. That was
Robert,
a
can
good
you
one.
answer that question, please? Can you expand on
You want
that?
to expand on that
You're
question?
like, I don't know how much further I can do this. You guys' face was hilarious. You're like, did he really just ask that?
That was so good.
That's a good one, dude. That's a good one. Yeah.
That was great.
Oh, it's funny. Oh, wait, actually, there is one in here, though. How long did it take you to create a robust system from your VAs or for your VAs? Yeah. How long did it take you to create?
It took a while. I will say at the beginning, it probably the first 6 to 8 months, I was kind of flying in kind of like in the darkness with this whole thing. I knew I needed the help. I knew that I needed to bring someone. I kind of had an idea of tasks and things that were needed, but I honestly didn't know what I was really doing. So I created the onboarding system. And then after I created the onboarding system, I created an agent success portal. And by the way, all these things can be done with, if you have Google Suite, you can do the whole thing. They have like a website that you can build yourself. Super easy to build with forms. They integrate with your spreadsheets you already have. You have already created training like that. All they live in one place, and only the people that have access to your email domain can log into this. So I created the onboarding for 4 weeks, and now I have an agent success portal where I keep updating, and I have them go back, and then they have to get kind of like a recertified every 6 months in key aspects of the things they do for me, just to make sure they are keeping the things where I want them to be, and updates in terms of trends, because things might be very different. They might be asking questions right now. The questions, some of them are getting asked is, so is the market still good despite of the interest rates going up? So that they're actually sellers asking those questions to the ISA. So they have to be well versed on those things. So doing these trainings with them, it's very important. So yeah, it takes some time. It was not something I figured out at the first time. And something that I will recommend people is to consider, if you cannot hire a full-time marketing director to help you with this whole thing, consider what is called a fractional CMO. Basically somebody that can actually give you the strategy to build something, but not necessarily have the overhead of having somebody in-house. I know bigger teams have like a marketing director and somebody in marketing, and then they have a COO and so on. Not everybody has the bigger pockets like that, but you should always consider going to the pros. It's simple, guys. If somebody already did it, all you have to do is just get the idea, get the concept, recreate it in your own systems, and go to work. That's it.
That's it. Don't try to recreate something. This is why we do these things for you, right?
Yeah.
We've been through all of the hard things.
It's not rocket science, guys. This is very simple. You just got to do it. That's it. Whatever you do, keep moving. Whatever it happens, take action. Do not stay with doing nothing, because that's the problem. If you do nothing, that's when you will go out of business. So always stay doing something, moving ahead.
Great question here. And yes, Virtudesk does provide all of the items. I provide the items as well. So checklists, processes, systems, and they also train a lot of their VAs. So the ones that you get are usually trained, or they already come trained based on who they're hiring. So Robert, can you touch on any available material that Virtudesk provided you? Did they provide any processes, checklists, or anything like that?
They do provide them to you. They're very generic. They are probably good for the beginning, but I think I have been more successful when I have actually created my own, because that's not my style. Another thing that is very important that I forgot, and this is probably good for you, Mark. If you want a nice, especially to learn the way you want to do things, just shoot a video yourself handling an objection so they can see how will you handle it, and then create a library, a private library inside of your YouTube channel that is only access to those that have the link, so they can watch those videos on how would you actually handle those objections, so they can learn from your style. They can memorize the script, but
Right.
there is a style they have to use for that.
Yeah, I love that. That's great. That's a great idea.
Yeah, and that's forever. So, because remember, these are human beings we're dealing with, so they can get sick, they can relocate within their own city and town and no longer want to work for being a virtual assistant or do something else. And then you are left with, okay, what just happened here, right? I need to just go back. So rather than recreating the same process over and over and over, just have it done once, and they can just go and watch those things for you when you hire anyone.
That's awesome. I love that. Exactly. Is repurposing the video full circle.
Yeah,
that's it.
Exactly.
That's it, guys. All right. How do people get a hold of you if they have questions for you or if they have a referral for you, Robert?
In the DMV.
DMV, simplest way is just my social media handle at Robert Garcia Realtor. I'm very active on TikTok, very active Instagram, and of course on YouTube, or my cell phone text message 240-286-5526. That's the easiest way to get a hold of me right away.
Love it.
Love it, dude. And Mark, what areas do you cover, buddy?
Malibu, Ventura County, Santa Monica, Westlake Village, all the fixins.
Dude, that's like the same areas I cover. Why would that's messed up?
Yeah, I'll take care of the referrals for Tristan so that he can do more webinars. Just keep sending them to me.
That's
awesome. Awesome, guys. Hey, thank you guys for your time. This has been amazing. Looking forward to another call in the future. Okay.
Thanks,
Thank
Robert.
you.
Appreciate you,
Great.
buddy.
Hey, thanks, guys. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.